Namaste, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for this session about um, relationships. So, my name is Hengame. Together with Arko, we would be more than happy to guide you through this session. As always, before we start, we will say a short prayer and then I will pass the mic to Arko to introduce himself and also give us an intro about the session that we are going to have. So if you're ready, please close your eyes. Inhale and exhale slowly and deeply. Relax your body, calm your mind, and calm your emotions. Smile to your heart. Mentally say to the Supreme Being, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to our spiritual teacher, to Master Choa Kok Sui, to Lord Mahaguruji Mailing, to all the great ones, all the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, and spiritual helpers. Thank you so much for all of your priceless blessings, for divine light, divine love, and divine power, divine guidance, help, and protection, inner healing and physical healing, good health and happiness, prosperity and abundance, spirituality and illumination. Thank you in full faith. Inhale slowly, inhale all the blessings. Exhale slowly and be aware of your whole body. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Inhale slowly, inhale all the blessings. And when you are comfortable, gently open your eyes with a big smile. So namaste and welcome again. So let's first have an intro and talk about what is this session and what we are going to cover. And Arko would guide us through this part. Thank you.
Thank you, Hangame. Atma Namaste, everyone. We have people from about 60 different countries who are registered for this particular session. So I guess this particular topic has been of a lot of interest to everybody. For those of you joining in for the first time, my name is Orko. It is written as ARKA. The pronunciation is open to global interpretation at this point. With my colleague, Dr. Hengame, we are part of the Prana World team, and you would have seen a lot of our work for pranic healing worldwide, all over the place. We do these sessions, which is aimed for the general public as well as for those who are on the spiritual path, to bring forward topics of esoteric interest, as well as for items that are not just esoteric, but they have a practical component to it. For the 300 odd people who are registered for this event, who are going to catch the recording at different time zones, being on the spiritual path often has problems, right? How many of you have faced these problems? Any of them? Okay, just put this in the chat. If it's physical, write P. If you've had relationship problems, write R. If you've had problems with money, write M. Or if you just had problems after doing any of this, just write Y, like yes. So physical problems, relationship problems, money problems, or just problems. And you're wondering, is it worth it? Is it worth going through this path at all, right? Someone's written you, so I guess that's a universal problem. All kinds of problems, as you can see, they are coming in. And some of you would have a combination of problems. Your health is affected, your relationships are affected, your finances are affected. When I was starting off in pranic healing, similar things happened when I got on the spiritual path. And 6 months back, things changed yet again, more and more situations. So we wonder, what is happening? So in one way, it is for us also to do some inner reflection and find out whether these problems happen because we need to sort out problems on our own or because we're meant to help others. Oftentimes, for those of you, by the way, how many here do pranic healing or do healing regularly for other people? Okay, professionally or semi-professionally. If yes, just give us a thumbs up or write yes in the chat. Because then you would have experienced that a lot of the problems you faced sometimes get replicated in your patient. Or more interestingly, a patient or a client comes to you with a problem and suddenly there's a lesson in there for you to learn. How many of you have noticed this? that you're solving a problem for somebody and boom, it's something there. Why? Law of karma, law of interconnectedness. So we're going to be taking these esoteric concepts. We're going to be taking the ideas of relationship problems, familiar dynamics, emotional triggers, laws of karma, and of course, how we can fix all of this. Because what's the point of just talking about a session saying, you've got a problem, now go home, session's over. No, we're going to talk about solving some of these problems too, right? So we're going to start. This is the introduction to the session. And my colleague, Dr. Hengame, I love saying that, Dr. Hengame Fazeli, many of you do not know, she is a PhD in architecture and a lot of the design sensibilities in the physical world, in the design world, I was going to say designing the spiritual world, also come from her. So thank you, Dr. Hengame, for the next part of the segment.
Thank you so much, Arko. So let me just start the session by sharing the PowerPoint that we are going to start. Okay, so the topic today is why relationships break down on the spiritual path and how to realign them. We have many different people from different walks of life joining this session. Some of you have been in the spiritual path, some of you are just starting. And so just to share that whatever we are sharing here is from the teachings of Master Choa Kok Sui. I learned pranic healing in 2007 and Arko joined around the same time. So we have been doing pranic healing and spiritual work for like more than a decade, for many, many years. And for me, even before pranic healing, I started to do a lot of other modalities like Reiki and astrology, so many different things. But what helped me to be where I am today was because of the teachings of Master Choa Kok Sui and pranic healing. So before we start, we just wanted to give this introduction so you know that the whole teaching is based on the principles and teachings of Master Choa Kok Sui and pranic healing. Okay, so let's begin talking about why relationship problems happen in the spiritual path. Okay, so we will discuss about three main important areas or things that lead to relationship problems. And then we are going to talk about them in more details and eventually talk about what is the solution. Because as Arko said, we don't want to just talk about the problems and leave you at that, because many of you already know like what problems you have, or some of you by doing inner reflection and meditation, you might know why, but then you might not really know what could be the solution, or you may know, but this could be just another, way of saying, let's practice this together, or share with you some other techniques that can help you improve the issues in your life. Okay, so let's start with the first thing, inner growth. Okay, Master Choa Kok Sui in one of his quotes says, when a person practices advanced meditation, he may experience psychological Kundalini syndrome. This may cause serious relationship problems. Do not get divorced immediately. The matter may resolve by itself within a few months. Where there is a lot of love, of course, the rate of vibration increases. Now, what does it mean? We are all in the spiritual path because of a reason, right? Some of us are looking for inner peace. Some of us are looking for bliss. Some of us are looking for ways to do service, to help others. But whatever reason we are here for, spiritual practice accelerate spiritual growth, accelerate our spiritual development. Now, what does it mean? It means to become a better person, right? To increase our light, love, and power aspect of the soul. And what does that mean? It means to learn lessons. So when we accelerate our spiritual development, it means that there are more lessons to learn. We are actually fast tracking. It's like watching a movie and then you fast track. So whatever happens, supposed to happen in 10 years, by doing spiritual practices such as advanced meditations, we are shortening that, we are accelerating that, let's say in 2 years or in 3 years, in 5 years. So whatever lessons that we're supposed to learn in 10 years, just as an example, we are learning in 5 years or less, based on what meditations, what practices we are doing, and how fast we are tracking, the spiritual path. So that means a lot of things, a lot of challenges, a lot of emotions, a lot of, weaknesses from deep within ourselves, from deep within the chakras come on the surface, and we notice them. So one of these issues could be relationship issues, because of course, through relationship problems, through challenges, we learn patience, we learn forgiveness, and a lot of other lessons. So means when we are doing advanced meditations, when we are accelerating our spiritual practice, we should be also aware that a lot of challenges may happen, which is good. It's all for spiritual development. It's all for growth. So don't immediately divorce. Don't immediately break up. Learn the lesson, study the situation, generate good karma, improve the situation. Okay, now we are going to talk about techniques and ways of improving our relationships later on in this session, but we are just sharing now what could be the reason behind relationship breakdowns. So that could be one reason. Advanced meditations accelerated spiritual development and therefore accelerated learning lessons. Now, second thing is, as we are growing, we might notice that our values start to change, our beliefs start to change, our whole perspective to life start to change, that sometimes may no longer match the family's long-held viewpoints. Okay, so that also sometimes could cause frictions, because you are no longer looking at things the way you were looking at before. For example, business, prosperity, money was very, very important for you before. It's still important, but you may have developed other, important things in life. Important, for example, charity work. So you may start tithing, you may start donating, you may start helping the poor, helping charitable organizations, and so on, which your family starts to think, how come now you are, giving this amount of money to others instead of spending for us, for example. So that may cause friction. Instead of buying me gifts, you are giving this to the charitable organizations, for example, because they may not follow the same viewpoint anymore. Or the time, for example, now you want to spend some time meditating, sometimes reading books, sometimes attending spiritual workshops, and so you don't have that time, allocated time anymore for your family, not your, the whole day. You need some time for yourself, for your spiritual development. That may cause friction again, because some of your family members start to think that you are neglecting them. So that could be another reason why we might end up having relationship problems, is because of change of our values, our beliefs, our perspectives. And the last thing could be because of changing communication style. Now, what does it mean? It means that as we do spiritual practice, our aura gets stronger, our chakras get stronger. So whatever we think, whatever we say has more impact on other people. I give you an example. Like, you may notice that previously you were doing your work, so your spouse, your children ask you something and you tell them, I'm busy, please don't disturb, and nothing happened. But now, after doing meditation and practice for some time, if you do that, they get hurt. And then they tell you, it's not what you said, it's how you said it. It hurt me. If you have that experience, please put in the chat. You put in the chat like me, or yes, or why. This is because the energy gets stronger. So whatever we say, whatever we think, manifests much more faster, affect people much more stronger. Now, I give you another example. When I started pranic healing, I remember I was joining one of the sessions of one of the senior pranic healers, and she was sharing that one time she was doing meditation, and she usually locks the door in her room so that during meditation no one disturb her. Seems like one time she forgot to lock the door. So when she was in the middle of the meditation, her son opened the door. So she got disturbed during the meditation, and she just looked at the son. And of course, she was feeling, agitated, angry inside. So she didn't say anything. She just looked at the sun. And because of that look, the son got fever. Now, if you think about it, she was in the middle of meditation. Of course, energy is stronger, chakras are bigger. And if you are in a spiritual path, if you have some background in pranic healing, you know that when we are doing meditation, when we are doing spiritual practice, especially at that time, the chakras get developed, the chakras get activated. Okay, so this is a stimulated size of the chakra. So it's even more impactful whatever we do. So one look, that anger energy, which was again magnified, transferred to the sun and made him have fever. The impact was that strong. Now, you may also notice some of the thoughts that you have after doing meditation and spiritual practice for some time tend to manifest much more faster, good or bad. So this means that the more we do spiritual practice, the more we should be mindful of people around us, because whatever we say, whatever we think, impact people much more than before. So that could be another reason why relationship breakdowns happen, because we behave the same way as before. We don't notice that now whatever we do impact our family members, our friends, even more than before. So we need to be more careful with what we think and what we say. Okay, now let's open this a bit more in detail and discuss about each of these in more detail, so we can talk about solutions afterwards. Now for this, I would ask Arco to guide us through the next part, which is common reasons for breakdowns. Thank you.
Thank you, Hengame. There are two very important takeaways from what she said for me personally. One is the statement that it's not just what you say, but how you say it. Okay. I would invite everyone here to participate in an experiment with me. Okay. The experiment is very simple. I'm going to say a word. I never said she stole the money. Okay. Can you repeat this with me? I never said she stole the money. Say it aloud. I never said she stole the money. All right. Now, I want you to place emphasis on an individual word. Okay. I never said she stole the money. 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 Do you notice what's happening? As you're placing an emphasis on a different word, the meaning of the statement is changing. You notice this? I never said she stole the money, which means I didn't say that she stole the money. Someone else could have stolen it. I never said she stole the money. I'm not saying that she stole money. She could have stolen something else. She could have stolen my heart. And of course, my heart has been stolen before and then broken and then battered, and then put back in place. So now I have two hearts. I have twin hearts. So I use that to bless the world. That was a joke, by the way. You're allowed to laugh. Okay. So one half broken, repaired. Now we use energy heart to bless the world. Okay. So it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. So that second statement, that example which Hengame said, where someone walked into the room, the meditator's son, and she looked at him and it was so strong that the person got fever. I have been both the feverer and the fevery, as in I have received such energy blasts that I've developed fever and I've fallen sick. This happened at a retreat, and I was meditating with someone who I greatly respected, and somehow I turned around and tapped the person asking a question, and this person said, "Don't tap me during the meditation." And this went back, and I was like, I was in my early years. It hurt me so much. I was down with fever for 2 days. Out. I was out of it. Okay. And in later times, it has happened that I've looked at somebody in a very angry way, consciously angrily, and the person has fallen sick. So, we have these experiences and effects. So it's not just what you say, it's how you say it, the way you say certain things, the way you place an emphasis. And this is very important here, because I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here. When you say relationships, all right, I want to clarify something here, that this session is not just for romantic relationships. It's also for parent and child relationships. It's for, of course, the partner aspect is there, but it's also for parent and child, or grandparent and grandchild. It's also for work relationships. So I would request everybody over here to kind of prioritize. We'll take 30 seconds, prioritize in your head that all the techniques that we're going to talk about, what are you looking for? Okay, I want to clarify something here. If you're looking for romantic relationships, that's also of two types. Are you looking to repair an existing relationship, or are you looking to attract a new relationship? Because a lot of people here, they're tired, they're alone, they're lonely, and they want to attract a person into their life. Okay, so we've got essentially 5 options. 1, you're looking to repair an existing relationship, repair. 2, you're looking to attract a new relationship. 3, you're looking to do something, you're looking to work on it with either your parents or your children. So that's parents is one side, children is another side, and the last one is about work. So it can be your boss, it can be your colleagues, it can be your clients. So think about it, because depending on that, the interpretation of the talk will change for you. Follow what I'm saying? If you understood what I've said, give me a yes. If you understood what I've said, give me a yes. And if you want to put it out there in the chat that you want to repair something, or you want to attract something new, or it's for your parents, or it's for your children, because above is different, below is different, as above, so below, or if it is for work. All right. So write that down, put that out intention out there. We are not asking you who you want to repair it with, but if it's just repair, write repair. If it's for attract, it's attract. If it's work, it's work. It's for siblings as well, same generation, it's family. All right, family, same generation, so it's repair, it's all repair. I'm noticing in the chat most of the comments are about repair. Now here, one more interesting thing. It can be multiple things as well. It can be multiple things as well. It's not just one. Important factor here, if you're in a relationship and instead of repairing it, you want to attract a new one, this session is not for you. If you're in a relationship and you're expecting that, oh, I'm going to get a new person in the relationship, that's going to solve it, this session is not for you. All right. Okay. Now, for all the people who are single and they're looking for a new partner, just write single in the chat, and then you can just exchange messages later on. So we've solved another global problem. For all the people who are single and looking for a new partner, just write single, 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 and you can DM each other and you can get, each other's contacts, right? I meant that as a joke, but if you are really taking that seriously, okay, more power to you. More power to you. All right. So common breakdowns. Let's go on to the next slide. Maybe we have to crack a few jokes here and there. Master Choa says the spiritual path is not about all keeping it serious. So see, one of the things that happens is that there's an energy mismatch and a shift in values. Okay. What is an energy mismatch? So a lot of you who wrote repair, why are you looking to repair it? What's changed? If you're looking to repair something, that means you were paired before. There was a pair before. That pair has broken, and now you're looking to repair it. You get it? You're a pair before, it's broken up, and looking to repair it. Why is this important? It's because like energies attract. What did I say? What did Master Choa say? Like energies attract. Like energies attract. And therefore, opposite energies what? Repel. If like energies attract, opposite energies repel. Something in you has changed. Now, if you're meditating, if you're regularly doing your spiritual practices, and the other person is not, your partner is not, or your siblings are not, or if anybody else is not, then you are vibrating at a higher energy. And what happens when you put fertilizer onto the ground? The flowers as well as the weeds, both of them get fertilized. So the good as well as the bad, they all get accelerated. Agree or disagree? Agree or disagree? When you do spiritual practice, the good qualities as well as the bad qualities, both of them get magnified. Agree or disagree? And because it happens, the people who are surrounding you, a lot of your aura also goes, a lot of your energy goes to you as to them as well. And if they're not purified enough, that affects them. So have you noticed if you've come back from, I don't know, a full moon or a meditation or a retreat, have you noticed you've come back home and boom, suddenly there are fights? How many of you noticed this? How many of you have noticed this? In fact, I remember, I don't know if this person is in the session here with us today, she was telling us the story of how she had attended a retreat, or she was attending a retreat, and she had a fight with her husband in the parking lot of the car. And it just so happened that we were texting, in the group saying that, your energy is very high, be careful about emotional triggers, the other person may get affected. So she realized that her energy had become so high that her husband's vibration was not matching. So she said, oh, this is not a fight, it's just an energetic mismatch. So then she just took a step back and said, we'll talk about it later. Sent him a lot of blessings and energy after that, and all was good. So what Master Choa says is, what is the quality of your relationship? What kind of energy have you sent to your partner? What kind of energy have you sent to your partner? When you observe what comes out of your mouth, when he says what comes out of your mouth, it means the words that come out of your mouth, okay? The words that come out of your mouth, you will know the status of your relationship. So you have people who are in the honeymoon phase, they'll say, hi, sweetheart, hi, darling, hi, love. You notice this? Hey, babe, hi, honey, all of these sweet words. And then after some, it's like, hey, you, haha. You don't even have a word like honey. It sounds like it's a threat. You notice this, right? I've noticed it with other people. So, I mean, not that they were calling me that, but I've noticed when counseling them. So these kind of things happen. So the real cause of psychological problems is a lack of soul contact, insufficient soul contact, not enough energy, soul energy is coming in. So you may be meditating, you may be generating a lot of energy for yourself, but are you sharing that energy with the world around you? Are you sharing that with the people around you? A lot of these problems happen because the person is like, no, I'm very purified. You're not pure enough. Don't touch, my aura is going to become dirty. There's a running joke in certain circles that, oh, my aura is going to become dirty. If you're spiritually one with all, what kind of inaccurate perception is this? So project loving kindness to your partner, project loving kindness to your partner, and the person will bloom. So what does this mean? Loving kindness. How many of you have heard this word? Just write yes, okay? How many have heard this phrase, loving kindness? How many of you heard this phrase, loving kindness? If you heard it, say yes. Say yes. Yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4 people know this? Yeah? We know about loving kindness. What does it mean? You have to be kind to somebody that, hey, you've got this problem going on. You need to fix A, B, C, D, E so the problem is solved. That's kindness. But you have to say, you have to express that kindness in a loving way. Not that, hey, you got a problem, man. You don't do this, you don't do that. That's why people do this. That's why your work is this, your relationship is this, blah, blah, blah. You're being kind because you're solving a problem, but you're not doing it in a loving way. You're doing it in a hurtful way. So you've got to be kind in a loving manner. It's a very basic thing, but it's important. We often don't follow this very simple instruction. We are very rude, we are very to the point, and we say, this is how I am, this is the person I am, I'm a spiritual person. You can scan my aura, you can scan my chakras, you can scan. What's the point of having big auras and chakras if you're not going to be nice and polite? Have you observed this about yourself, that sometimes because your mind has become so sharp, you just say certain things and the other person gets affected? Sometimes you're super sharp and you're not doing it because you want to hurt the other person. You don't have any intention of malice, but just because your energy is more developed, your heart is not keeping up. So this is what happens. There's an energy mismatch, there's a shift in values. And as this example came in on the chat of someone being a teacher, and after Arhatic meditations, many of the children in the class started to cry. This is a beautiful example that's just been shared in the chat. And this person realized that it's because of their energy. And then the children became normal after the person asked for divine help, divine guidance, and divine protection. It's a very powerful story, very important story. So we have to be aware of what we are thinking. We are not putting in enough soul energy into the people around us. So you can be the person getting the fever, you can be the person causing the fever. It depends on the kind of energy you're sending out. So that is the emotional trigger side of things. There is a certain karmic pattern in this also, okay? So energy mismatch is one part, there's a karmic pattern, and I'll ask Hengame to shed more light on that part, please.
Thank you so much, Arko. So the second thing, as we discussed, is emotional triggers and karmic patterns. Now, whenever there's emotional trigger, the first thing we need to focus on and meditate on is why there is this trigger, why I feel these lower emotions towards someone, or why there are these fights and arguments, what triggers me to behave the way I'm behaving. So all of these challenges are our lessons to learn. Okay, and karmic patterns, of course. Now, what is karma? Karma is not fatalistic. Karma is evolutionary in process. So karma simply means learning the lessons that we're supposed to learn. Because if you ask yourself, how are we growing? How are we evolving in life? The answer is we are evolving through the challenges. When a challenge happens, the first thing is it develops our heart, because after the challenge we realize, for example, if you never experience toothache and you see someone having toothache, you never know how much pain they are going through. But when you experience it yourself, next time you see someone having toothache, if you know healing, if you know something that could help them, you will do, because you know how hard it is. So basically it develops the heart, it develops our love aspect, the love aspect of the soul. Another thing the challenges develop is our intelligence, because we start thinking, how can I come out of this situation? Why am I experiencing this situation? What is the lesson to learn? And until we learn the lesson, we keep attracting similar situations. So until and unless we sit and think and say, okay, why is this happen? This might be because of this attitude or this thing that I need to develop or learn. And then just knowing the lesson is not enough. We have to act upon it. We have to do something to come out of that situation. So that actually activates and improves the will aspect of the soul. So we learn through these challenges. So we learn through karma. Karma is not good or bad. Karma is evolutionary, is not fatalistic, right? So, but as we discussed, when we are in the spiritual path, we are accelerating this. So we also need to be up for the challenge. If we are accelerating our spiritual practices, we also need to, number one, be ready to learn, be mindful. Whenever a problem happens, don't not to blame others, but start thinking why this is happening to me. What is the lesson for me to learn here? And then learn. Sometimes we can learn lessons without even going through the challenge, through reading books, through reading biographies, through studying other spiritual teachers' work. You know, Master Choa Kok Sui says you can either learn through the teachings or you can learn through life. Now, which one is easier? Through life or through studying and learning and practicing the teachings? So, and number two, to also generate good karma. So whenever a challenge, a problem, a karma is getting materialized, it becomes easier. For example, it has happened to me several times because I was not really focusing on a part of the teachings. For example, in pranic healing, we have 5 virtues. And Master Choa Kok Sui, our teacher's suggestion is to follow all of them, learn each of them one by one. Every month, focus on one virtue and then continue doing it over and over again until we learn all the virtues. But sometimes we want to be more smarter. We want to like bypass some of the teaching. So we might focus on what we like, not on all. For example, one of the things which I was not really practicing was moderation and non-excessiveness. So one challenge in my life happened because of that, for me to learn the lesson of being more moderate and not excessive. So, but because of all the good karma I generated through service, through donation, through tithing, and through all of that, when the challenge came, it was hard. I'm not saying it wasn't. It was hard. But at the same time, there were many friends around me who could help me see why this is happening, who could do healing for me, who could give me, words of encouragement so that I won't feel alone. So that is the benefit of generating good karma through service, helping others, charity work, donation, tithing, and so on, so that when a challenge happens, when a karma is being manifested or materialized, it's not that hard. You also have support system. You have friends, you have spiritual bodies to help you go through with that. Okay, so what we can do here is, first of all, whenever an issue, a problem happens, whenever we get triggered, don't blame it on the other person. Don't blame it on our family members, on our co-workers, children. Think about it. Why am I getting triggered? What is the lesson here for me? Be mindful, meditate on it, reflect on it, and learn the lesson. And number two, always generate good karma. Meditation on twin hearts is a fantastic meditation in which we become a channel to bless every person, every being in the whole world. So that is one of the ways to generate good karma, because as we give love, we also receive love. So it's a good way to generate good karma, and we do that every Saturday evening together, evening India time and Australia time, actually noon India time or afternoon India time. So if you are free, join us. We do it as a service to the whole world. That is also a good way of generating good karma. Okay, so be aware of the triggers, generate good karma. And the third one is the loneliness and misunderstandings of inner awakening. And Arko would guide us through that. Thank you.
Thank you, Hangame. Question to everybody over here. Have you realized I start my sentences always by saying there's a question to everybody there? That wasn't the question. That was the observation part. Okay, because it's a self-reflection session, right? I'll tell you two small stories. Story number one is of a wealthy person who invested in a property and there were some legal issues. The person had to put in $1 million of their own money. They had to put in $1 million of their own money. And this basically made him, he lost a lot of money after putting that money there. A lot of his friends said, what are you talking about? You have $1 million of money to spend, all right? For the Indian audience, like, I don't know, 8 crores of rupees. Who has that kind of money? Does this story appeal to you? Does this story make sense to you? It doesn't, right? How do we understand what it means? This story has no appeal. $1 million. We don't know what $1 million is like. I mean, one or two of you in the audience may know that, but majority don't. Right. Second story. A person is talking about how his girlfriend left him for another person, and he saw her photographs on social media being engaged, about to get married, and he's feeling very, very sad. How many of you can relate to the second story? First story, just write 1, or second story, write 2. Please write. Okay, it's important. It's going somewhere. The first story is about a person who's lost $1 million. He's invested the money. The second story is about a person whose partner got engaged to somebody else and then left. And this person is watching their social media profiles and feeling sad for themselves. So it could be a boyfriend, could be a girlfriend, could be somebody else, right? And if you notice, most of the comments are about number 2, about situation number 2, is about losing somebody you cared for. That person's dumped you and they've gone to somebody else and you feel that heartbreak. Relatable story, right? Relatable story. A couple of you have related to story number 1. You see, when you're on the spiritual path, there are very few people who understand the experiences you are going through or you have gone through. Almost every one of us here, be honest, how many of you here have gone onto social media to see what your ex is up to? Be honest, right? Yes. If you're not, we'll just scan and check and say, okay, of all the 300 people who registered, you've stalked your ex's social media, right? And then you've had a bad night and you've called up your best friend and you've said, this is happening and that's happening. And they're like, he doesn't deserve you. Or we've done this, right? Why is this story relatable? Because it's something we've been through. It's something we've gone through. The millionaire story, very few people have gone through, because people don't know what it's like to have earned $1 million and then lost that $1 million. The spiritual path is also lonelier because the general public doesn't understand what it means to have an activated crown chakra. They don't understand what it means that your heart is so active when you see a child who is hungry, or they see someone who's sick. You feel that pain. How many of you feel pain or sadness when you see someone else suffering? You want to donate some money. You want to go and do a healing. You have to stop yourself, otherwise you feel you'll get too involved. It happens, right? You see somebody who needs money, you want to donate money. You see someone who needs healing, you want to go and do healing. You see somebody who's hungry, you want to feed them. You see somebody who's without clothes, you want to give them some clothes. See, all these things are happening. How many people in your family understood that? How many of your friends understood that? How many say, what is this meditation thing you're doing? You've become so old, you're so old-fashioned. Meditation is for old people. Meditation is for old people, right? Very few people understand what it's like to be on the spiritual path. Therefore, the spiritual path is lonely. So I've given you 3 examples, one of a relationship, one of money, and one of spirit. And you can judge by your own reactions to them where your awareness is or where your experiences are. So sometimes the spiritual path is lonely. Your spiritual progress depends on your clarity of thought and your sharpness of mind. So don't get stuck, don't freeze, keep moving. In your journey, there's no stop, there's no freeze, there's no do not move. You keep moving. Okay. And the important thing here is that the standard for a person on the spiritual path is high. The standard is what? Is it low or is it high? Is it low or is it high? It's high. Okay. What cannot be done by ordinary people can be done by you. So give yourself 1 point if you have done healings for people. Give yourself 1 point. Give yourself another point if you have, or another mark if you have done blessings for people. Give yourself another mark if you have joined group meditations for blessing difficult situations, for blessing the earth, for blessing war-torn countries. Give yourself another point if you are donating money to your Pranic Healing Foundation, to spreading pranic healing, to charities. Give yourself another point if you also bless your family, your friends, and your loved ones. So, how many people got 5 out of 5? How many people got 5 out of 5? And I mentioned 5 points. How did you get 6? Okay. How many got 5 out of 5? Okay. How many got 4 out of 5? How many didn't get 5 out of 5? So you see, every one of us over here, we have this goodwill and the willingness to do good. We have this goodwill and the willingness to do good. So we may feel physically, yes, we are lonely, emotionally, we are lonely, but just by looking at the responses you're getting on the screen, spiritually, you're not lonely. Spiritually, there's only oneness. You have an extra one for self-love. Okay, good point. So 6 out of 5. Good one. So we need to appreciate yourself for that. So I'm going to just take this one moment, and we're going to go into the techniques part soon enough. We take this moment, okay, and I speak this on behalf of Hengame, to express how grateful we are for your existence, for you being there, for you being around, for helping, for serving, for spreading the teachings, for being an instrument of divine light and divine love and divine power. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being a part of our journey as well. We get a lot of messages from people after the sessions thanking us for this, what we've done, but we wouldn't be doing it if you weren't there. So a lot of the love goes to you, a lot of the credit goes to you. So thank you. Right? Feel the love. Feel that love. It's coming in. Spiritually, there's only oneness. Right? Okay. So there is inner awakening. People don't understand things. It's all right. We go on. And what is most difficult is when the family doesn't understand it. So family life and spiritual development, super important topic, super important part. Hengame, would you shed light on this part, please?
Thank you, Arko. And yes, thank you all of you for joining all these sessions. So by sharing all these issues that can happen in our family life, sometimes you may think it's easier for me to just stay alone rather being with a family, like with your family, with people, with spouse, with your children and everything. Yes, it might be easier, but as Master Choa Kok Sui says, family life is one of the fastest ways to spiritual development because inevitably there is relationship friction. You develop self-sacrifice, self-control, patience, flexibility, and tolerance. So, and then he says, why do you have children? One of the reasons why we have children is so we can develop our heart, because children tend to ask, and ask. As a parent, we just give, and give. So although it's hard, there could be a lot of challenges, a lot of emotional triggers and so on, but we need to understand that family life is one of the fastest ways to spiritual development, because we learn so many things by just being in a family. Now think about it. If you just leave your family, leave your friends, everyone, go and live in mountains and just meditate, it's easy to stay calm. It's easy to have inner peace because there is no one to challenge that. The challenge starts when we come down, when, like as Arko was sharing during the retreats, many of you might have joined like group retreats where you go to a center, a jungle, in a jungle near the beach or somewhere, away from people, with all these spiritual practitioners, and you just meditate for days. It's easy to stay calm. It's easy to stay blissful, happy during that time. But when you come back to the society, when you come back to the family, then the challenge starts. But the thing is, when we come back, when we are with our family, the learning also starts. Because of the family, because of disagreement, because of all of this, we develop self-sacrifice. We develop self-control. We develop patience, flexibility, tolerance, forgiveness, compassion. So there are a lot of lessons to learn by just being in a family, in family life, by just having a family and by practicing spirituality, and at the same time be a family person, be a responsible family person. So yes, there are challenges. There are times where you may think it's easier for me just to be alone, but always remember that the whole purpose of life is evolution, is learning, and family life provides that, opportunity for us to learn much more faster, to develop all these qualities of the soul, including patience, forgiveness, and of course, love. Now, talking about this, let's focus on a few techniques now that we can do to improve the situation, improve our relationship with our family members, with our colleagues, with our friends. Arko will guide us through the first one. Thank you.
Thank you, Hengame. So we're going to look at this. We now come to the solution side of things. We're going to talk about conscious communication and several other pointers. Now, one of the earlier parts of the session was, who are you doing this for? Are you doing it for repairing a relationship? Are you doing it for attracting a new one, or for your colleagues, for your, remember those options, right? So now, keeping that in mind, keeping that particular standard in mind, this is the question that you need to ask yourself. This is from the teachings of Master Choa Kok Sui. This is from the Golden Lotus Sutras. Have a relationship target. Consider the state of your relationship right now. Consider the state of your relationship right now on a scale of 1 to 10. This is for you to self-assess. On a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is like super good, like honeymoon period, where would you rate the relationship? Okay, where would you rate the relationship? Is it 8 out of 10 or within 8 to 10? Is it like 4 to 7, or is it 1 to 3, or is it minus 256,000? So where is it right now? Okay, so you can get numbers that look like the Richter scale, so 6.5, there's something there. So if it's anything which is below a 7 or below an 8, we might say it needs work. Yes or no? Agree or disagree? Agree or disagree? It might need work. So do you have good communication with your partner? So answer this answer this question here. Now, here it's in the context of being a partner. It can be for your parent, it can be for your children, it can be for your brothers and sisters, it can be for your colleagues, it can be for your partner as well, of course. Okay, so let's share this, because as the people who write down and share it, when we do this group blessing kind of thing, because we always do that, a little bit of a value add, we might just find that people are getting their problem sorted out. So as you open it up, we can clear it out, because everything is what? It's all energy. Energy is everything. So do you have good communication with your partner? On a scale of 1 to 10, where is it? Write it down. On a scale of 1 to 10, do you have good communication with your partner? Okay. So I'm going to think of my partner, work partner, right? Work partner. Yeah, it's a 9 out of 10, 9.5, 9.8 meters per second square. For physics nerds. Okay. So do you have good communication with your partner? Are you able to have deep conversations? How deep is your conversation? Okay. Now, it's a very relevant question that came in. If I don't have a partner, how do I pinpoint where it is? What is your ideal partner like? What is your ideal partner like? What qualities does he have? Does he have to be an Arhatic yogi or a spiritual practitioner? Does he have to be vegetarian? Does he have to be wealthy? Does he have to be this or that? Be realistic. Be realistic. You have to have an image of a person that you want, but you have to be realistic about it. So if you don't have that, imagine, I want a partner with whom I have 9 out of 10 communication. I want a partner with whom I want to have 10 out of 10 deep conversations. We should be able to talk about money. We should be able to talk about relationships. We should talk about God, about spirituality, about travel, about food. I mean, there's more to life than just, meditating or just working. Okay. There are so many different aspects. I read this quote somewhere that when you're choosing a partner, whether you're choosing a husband or whether you're choosing a wife, you're not just choosing a person to spend your life with, you're choosing somebody with whom you're going to have 65,000 communications for the rest of your life. Someone you're going to share 1,000 meals with. Someone with whom you're going to walk 20,000 miles. So you're not just choosing somebody for a physical side or an emotional side. You're choosing somebody who's going to become a part of your life. So ideally, we want to have a 10 out of 10, but let's keep it average. Let's keep it realistic. 7, 8 is good. 9 is ideal. 10 is like, okay, you've achieved oneness with their higher soul. Okay, for your higher soul is like, okay, you come back later, you're one with their higher soul. That was a joke. You laugh. So now the question also comes in, where do you want to be in 10 years from now with the same partner? A lot of people can just say, hey, same partner. I have good conversations, but I don't know if I want to be with this person with the same in the next 10 years. So then that gives you an insight as to what you want. That do you see yourself living your life with this person? So then think about all the nice things your partner has done for you. Be kind in your interactions. So loving, we spoke about being loving, be kind in your interactions. But don't just say, hey, I do this for you. I cook your favorite meal every day. I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. Okay, you have to also look at what they've done for you. They've shown up for you. They tolerate you. They say, hey, you go and you close the door and we sit outside for 21 minutes while you do your thing. They say, we are here on a Tuesday evening or a Tuesday afternoon or a Tuesday night while we should be out doing something else. And you're spending 2 hours of your time listening to these people. So think of the good things your partner does for you too. Just doesn't mean that they become spiritual and all the problems will be solved. You know a lot of spiritual people in your life. How many of them do you get along with 10 out of 10? I'm sure you know a lot of spiritual people in your life. Do you get along with all of them 10 out of 10? Mm-hmm. So just saying I want a spiritual partner, no, that's not realistic. Sorry if I'm hurting anybody, but that's the truth. So yeah, think of all the nice things. Be conscious in your communication. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do the next part, which is the prayer of forgiveness, which comes after the conscious communication. So after you become aware of yourself, after you've become really aware of yourself, you can then do the prayer of forgiveness. Okay. By the way, the prayer of forgiveness also applies to people who are no longer in your life. Okay, whether physically or energetically or emotionally, you can just forgive and let go. And this is a very soft topic, but it's a very deep topic. So I would request Hengame to please take over the next part.
Okay, prayer of forgiveness. This is a very fantastic technique by Master Choa Kok Sui that can help harmonize the relationships, our relationships, not only with our family, with our spouses, but also with our colleagues, with our friends, I remember one of the times that I practiced this technique was with my supervisor when I was studying master's degree. I remember at that time, my relationship with her was not really smooth. It wasn't really bad, but it wasn't also like loving and friendly. So I started to do this with her and just thought to myself, let's just do it and see what happens. And I think after a month of doing this, one day when I was talking to her and doing some, discussion about my thesis. After the session, she just looked at me and she asked for forgiveness. And I was like, wow, because nothing happened. We didn't really have any argument or anything, but she just asked for forgiveness and she told me that she knows that our relationship should have been better. And after that, she became so nice to me. So in here, in whatever we share, we always tell you don't believe whatever we discuss. We do this practice together here now. What we only ask from you is do this every day and just observe what happens after a week, after 2 weeks, after 1 month. Again, depending on how difficult the relationship is, you might need to do it for a longer period of time. Like, for example, with your ex, if it's very hard for you still to forgive the person, there is still a lot of hurt, you might need to do this for a longer period of time until when you think about the person, you don't feel hurt, you don't feel bad anymore. Okay. Now, with your spouse, with your family, whenever there is, a friction, an argument, and you don't feel good, you can always do this to improve the relationship with your friends and family. Okay, so how do we do it? We can put our two hands in a namaste position in front of our heart. Just look at me first, and then we are going to do it together. And then you are going to close your eyes. You are going to visualize one person. Let's just focus on one person at a time. Visualize one person you want to improve your relationship with, or if it's an ex and you just want to feel more inner peace, forgive and let go, you can also visualize that person. So close your eyes, look into their eye, and then we are going to recite this affirmation, this prayer that Namaste, I salute the divinity within you. You are forgiven. God's blessings and peace be with me and be with you. And then you can repeat this 7 times in one sitting for 7 days or more, as long as it's necessary, until when you think about the person, you won't feel hurt, you won't feel sad, you won't feel, upset anymore. Okay, so we will do it 3 times here, but the full technique is 7 times in one sitting for 7 days or more. Okay, now let's do this and then we will see if any questions in the chat and we will reply. Now, please put your 2 hands in a namaste position on your heart. The reason for this is to activate the heart. Because if your heart is not activated, if you are still holding a lot of anger and grudge, it's very difficult to do this full-heartedly. So instead of going in peace, you may say, go in pieces. So you want the person destroyed. You don't want the relationship to improve. So we need to activate the heart first. So 2 hands in a namaste position. Put it on your heart. Smile. Visualize this one person that you want to improve your relationship with in front of you. Now, to help you forgive and ask for forgiveness better is, as Arko was sharing before, think about the good qualities of a person. No one is 100% bad and no one is 100% good. We all have good qualities and shortcomings as well. So even the person that you are angry with, they surely have some good qualities. Okay, so try to remember those. Try to think about the good qualities that this person has. Look into the eyes. Smile, mentally say Namaste. I salute the divinity within you. We are all human beings. We all make mistakes. Evolution requires time, process, and lots of mistakes. I have done my share of mistakes and I have learned from them. So can you. Please forgive me for all the mistakes I have done. I forgive you also. God's peace and love be with me and be with you. Now, if you want to improve the relationship, you can visualize at the end that you are happy, you are enjoying life, you are together. But if the person has gone, if it's an ex or something, you can visualize them moving away, moving further, further, further from you. Now we repeat that 2 more times. Look into the eyes of the person, smile, mentally say Namaste. I salute the divinity within you. We are all human beings. We all make mistakes. Evolution requires time, process, and lots of mistakes. Please forgive me for my mistakes. I am very sorry. And I forgive you also. Be in peace or go in peace. God's peace and love be with me and be with you. Namaste. Inhale. Inhale all the blessings. Visualize your whole aura gets brighter and lighter. Exhale any hurt, any grief, any sadness, any anger, resentment out of your system. Now we do this one last time. Look into the eyes of the person. Smile. Mentally say Namaste. I salute the divinity within you. We are all human beings. We all make mistakes. Please forgive me for my mistakes. I'm sorry. And I forgive you also. God's peace and love be with me and be with you. Go in peace. Visualize you're happy. Inhale, visualize your whole aura gets brighter and lighter, and exhale any remaining of sadness, grief, hurt, resentment, anger out. One more time, inhale. Your aura gets brighter and exhale. Exhale out all these lower emotions out of your system. One last time, inhale and exhale. When you are comfortable, gently open your eyes with a big, big smile. Okay, fantastic. So we did a longer version of this prayer, but you can just do the shorter version. Repeat it 7 times. We just did 3 times because we're in the session and we're running out of time, but 7 times for 7 days or more until the matter is resolved, until when you think about the person, you are not feeling lower emotions anymore. Okay? And now let's talk about meditating together.
How's everyone feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being you've achieved oneness with your higher soul. 9 is you're feeling the best you can feel. So 9, 9.5. Imagine having the same feeling, the same sensation with your partner, with your loved one. So you're going to take this energy, with us. And no matter what has happened, forget about all the stuff that has aggravated you and hurt you and all of that. We're going to share this love and blessing with the people in our lives. Okay? With those who've come before us, with those who are going to come after us, those who are with us, so our colleagues, our friends, our loved ones, our siblings, parents, grandparents, children, our pets, those who we work with, those who we work for, those who work for us, if applicable. And of course, if your partner is there, And if you want to materialize a partner, then whoever is the right person for you, okay? We're all beings of light. So smile. Have a smile on your face. Remember, you got 5 out of 5. So feel that happiness, feel that smile on your face. Yeah, all right. Smile. Take a deep breath. Sit with your spine straight. Sit with your spine straight. Yeah. If you're lying down in bed, okay, at least lie down with your spine straight. Smile. Tap your heart with the pads of your fingers. Tap your heart. Okay. Put your hand in the namaste position. In the namaste position. Bow your head down slightly. Bow your head down slightly. And verbally repeat after me. Okay. Verbally repeat. I am just an instrument of God. I am just an instrument of God. God is the source of all light, love, and power. God's blessing is flowing through me. God's blessing is flowing through me. My spiritual teacher's blessing is flowing through me. With thanks and in full faith. Keep your hands in front of your heart. Bow your head slightly. I am just an instrument of God. God is the source of all light, love, and power. God's blessing is flowing through me. My spiritual teacher's blessing is flowing through me. With thanks and in full faith. And just imagine that your home where you're living in, your family, all your loved ones, even those who've passed away, just imagine all of them together with you. Your loved one, your partner with you, whoever is your future partner, just have that intention out there and that you're all together, everyone with so much love. And of course, all the people who've joined here today also, because spiritually is only oneness. Let's send this intention of love out into the universe. And I'm just an instrument of God. God is the source of all light, love, and power. God's blessing is flowing through me. My spiritual teacher, Master Choa Kok Sui's blessing is flowing through me. With thanks and in full faith. Gently open your eyes with a smile. Gently open your eyes with a smile. How do you feel now? We accept all answers above 10. Now accepting all answers above 10 and beyond. How do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10? Right? So you notice yourself, you notice how you're feeling. We've done the cleansing part, we've done the forgiveness, we've cleaned that part out, we've done the energizing by doing this. Now what happens? We need to make sure this energy stays with us. So we need to bring this in our system, and that's going to happen with inner reflection and firm resolution. So Hengame, this part over to you.
Okay, the last solution, the last thing we want to discuss is inner reflection and firm resolution. This is actually to help us learn the lessons and improve, like learn what to do to improve the situation. Now I want to share with you one example. When some years ago, at our center in Malaysia, when I was in Malaysia, there was this person that always talked negative about her husband, and she always talked to us that how rude, how harsh the husband is treating her. The husband, according to her, the husband is good to everybody, but it's very harsh to her, treats her in not so good manner. So to the extent that I was really feeling bad for her. But one time she was talking on the phone to the husband, and I was just overhearing. Like I didn't want to listen, but because she was talking with a loud voice, I just overheard. The way she was talking to her husband was very rude, and I was shocked. So at that moment, I was thinking, if this is the way you treat the husband, then what do you expect? Sometimes we are so much focused on what we are doing, we are not aware of how we are treating others. We are not aware, like, for example, if you are doing service, if you are doing meditation, if you are healing others, sometimes we might start thinking, I am a very good person. I am a very, I help others. Sometimes it may develop pride. So because of that, we might start not to really focusing or being aware of how we treat our family members, because we might be thinking that I am a better person compared to them because I'm doing this. And then we treat them in a not so good way. So inner reflection is basically a technique that we can do every day, either when you wake up in the morning or before you sleep at night. Just reflect upon whatever you have done throughout the day. Just observe and try to think objectively what I did. Was it good or was it not? Do I need to improve? For example, in this situation, if she started like reflecting, she would realize that the way she talks to him is actually rude, is not nice. So of course, what she receives in return won't be nice. So how come the husband is good to everyone but not her? We have to think, what is the energy, what is the energy you're sending out, you are giving him. So that is the fruit of what you are receiving. So this is just a way to reflect on our activities, our thoughts, not just what we do but also what we say. Sometimes what we say could hurt, and what we think. Sometimes what we think also could be hurtful. We might not do anything, we might not say anything to hurt someone, but we might be over criticizing them in our head. So we just need to be aware of whatever we are doing. And if we notice that what we did was wrong, we don't meditate on the wrong action. We just need to realize, we just need to be aware, and then change it or replace it with a positive image. So when you are in that situation the next time, what should you do instead? So this is like a practice, so that the next time you are in a similar situation, we do the right thing. And if we do this, it will definitely benefit all our relationships, not only with our family, but also in the office. Because sometimes we might be treating the co-workers, the colleagues, the boss, or people under us in a not so good way. Inner reflection helps us to be aware. Without awareness, change is impossible. So it's actually a practice of awareness of what we are doing, our behavior, our thoughts, our words, our actions. Okay, and with that, we are at the end of the session. Sorry that it is a little bit 15 minutes longer than it's supposed to be, but we are done. So I will pass the mic to Arko to guide us through the ending part and the Thanksgiving invocation. Thank you so much. If you have questions, you can put it in the chat, and for people who want to stay back, we can answer the questions as well. Thank you.
Master Choa says that your life should be balanced, your spiritual development must be balanced. So let us give thanks. There's still about 3 more slides over here. Center yourself, retreat into your heart, raise your awareness to your crown, a little above the crown, and say to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to my spiritual teacher, Master Choa Kok Sui, to Lord Mahaguruji Meling, to all the great ones, the holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, beings of light, and spiritual helpers, to my higher soul and divine self, thank you for your priceless blessings of divine light, love, and power, for healing, inner healing, physical healing, relationship healing, and prosperity healing. Thank you for your blessings. Thank you for guiding my thoughts, my words, and my actions. Thank you for healing and repairing all my relationships at home, at work, spiritually, romantically, wherever it is. Thank you for healing my relationship with my higher soul and with my teacher. Thank you for your priceless blessings. Thank you in full faith. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for being part of this. Hengame, if you just go to the next slide. You can scan this QR code. This is the registration link for the group meditation that we do every Saturday. The timings are mentioned in India time and Australia time. We do this as a free service for blessing the world. We have a photo of one of our practitioners, our healers, actually doing a meditation visualizing planet Earth. You can please scan that, or you can message us on our WhatsApp group, which is there. I'll share the link for joining the WhatsApp group in the chat, so that is easier for everyone to join. So we have about 400 plus people who are part of this group right now, and we share these links. We share all of these chats and insights over and above. And on the next slide after this, in order to enable us to keep these sessions coming to you over time, there's a donation link if you want to support the spreading of pranic healing. That one is a meditation that was done, a prosperity meditation that was done for people who specifically help us spread pranic healing. So if you can scan the QR code, that will take you to the donation page for supporting our work on a monthly basis. So that's there. You can take a screenshot of this. We appreciate you being here, and the donations help us to keep bringing more such knowledgeable sessions to you for the world. So thank you for that. So Atma Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining. Everybody take care. Have a great evening. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, everyone. See you in the next session.
And the recordings
Bye.
will be sent to you within a couple of days.